Podcast. If you're ready to grow, then let's go. This is the Lincoln County Podcast. Hey, yo, Matt, let's start the show.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to all the sponsors of the Lincoln County Podcast. Hozak Plumbing, Simply Worth, Medical Weight Loss, Town & Country Insurance, The Guild, and Boyer Academy. Thank you guys for your sponsorship, and thank you for making the Lincoln County Podcast possible. Just want to say thank you to everyone at Boyer Academy. Without the success of Boyer Academy and all the families there, I wouldn't have met all these wonderful people in and around Lincoln County that have came on the Lincoln County Podcast. So without you guys, none of this would really be possible. Having this has been a dream come true to sit down and talk to so many business owners and share my experiences at Boyer Academy, their experiences and successes with their business with everyone in and around our local area. Hey guys, welcome to Lincoln County Podcast again. We are almost on our full year, so we're really excited for that as our episodes keep turning out for 2024, and we're excited for big things in 2025. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, show it to everybody, because this podcast highlights everybody in Lincoln County and the things that they do and give back to the community. So if you share them, you're helping the county. So further ado, I want to turn it over to my guest to introduce yourself, and we are going to get started today.
I am Amber. I am the owner of Simply Sweet Little Things. I do hand-poured soy candles, wax melts, room sprays, diffusers. This past year, I've really taken a shift change and jumped into wholesale accounts. I have several small businesses that I do for wholesale. It's something I thoroughly enjoy doing, sitting down with someone, creating a scent that's customizable completely to their company, their business front. And then I also set up at Lake St. Louis Farmers Market pretty much every Saturday and get invited out to private events and do other social events as well with my business.
So when you say wholesaling, we're talking about who is a guest on here, Sarah Scrantz. I know you do her candles. If anyone's seen her air fresheners or candles, or her new nickname the girls all gave her, Sarah Smells.
Yes.
For her branding, which has been awesome. And she, for the record, she did not brand her Sarah Smells. That's just something that everybody started as a joke.
Yes. She just placed another order, actually. We're doing a fall launch for her stuff as well.
Awesome. So what all goes into that for a wholesaler? Like, what do you do as far as branded products?
So once I go in, you reach out to me, or a lot of times a lot of people come up to me at the farmers market in Lake St. Louis, and they ask if I do wholesale, wedding, baby shower. I do candle bars. So once they come in, we schedule a meeting. I normally meet with them at a local coffee shop because it's just the easiest place to sit down and talk to someone. And then we go over different options. So I have over 40 jar options that you can choose from. Then I have the room sprays, the car diffusers, wax melts, and then we go over custom scents. I have over 50 oils that you can pick from to create your own custom blend. You can do 1, 2, 3, or 4 oils mixed together to create your scent. And then once you create your scent, we move on to the label process. So you can make your own label, or I'll sit down and create a label. I go back and forth with the person to make sure that everything is exactly what they want it to be. And then that's basically it.
That's cool. We need to do those for the school. Once I get the little last couple tweaks on the actual physical business, I need to do that because we always need it to smell good.
We need some room sprays and some car diffusers.
Yeah.
So, like, people can spray their gym bags and then make their car smell good after they're done sweating.
Maybe we'll spray them for them. You haven't been there for, we put it up now, but for kickboxing, we used to have like 7 or 8 cans of Lysol sitting around.
Just to spray things down. I mean, I can only imagine the way, we're a family of 6, so when we walk out after 4 hours of being there, there's
well,
smells.
they would just go ham on that stuff. I'd walk up to the desk and be choking. I'm like, well, it's good to know everything in the room's disinfected because they go crazy. But yeah, we definitely need to do something. So it's really cool. Like I've noticed with the clients, Sarah's getting a bunch of free plugs today, but with hers, with her candle, with the diffusers, I see them everywhere because we have, obviously her and I have a ton of mutual friends. But it's such a classy, different way to brand, especially like you and I have talked, like with her being a realtor, it's a nice thing to have at a house or give to a customer. It kind of keeps your name on their mind all the time.
Yes.
In a organic or more passive way than hey, call me, or, you
Yeah.
know, like it's one of those items. It seems to, I would think it would hang around longer.
It does. And that's the thing with the real estate agents that I work with. It's something that they put in their closing gifts, or they pass them out to different, they're out and about and somebody mentions something about an agent and they're like, oh, here's a wax melt, and it has their business card on the front of it. So it's something that stays in a house longer than a business card. You can pass out 100 business cards, but how many people are actually holding on to those? Hardly anyone, unless there's an offer on there. Like my business cards has stamps. You spend a certain amount, you get a stamp. Once you have 10 stamps, you save 20%. So my business card carries itself, but also all of my stuff has my branding on it. So it's just if you're trying to build a business and you want a cheap option or cheaper option that you know somebody's going to take and use and look at, like a car diffuser. Mm-hmm. It's hanging in their car.
It's right there.
It's right there in their view all the time. So it's just it's really a marketing tool. And that's why with my wholesale accounts, they have grown so much this year. Last year, I had a few and I played around with it. And then I was like, all right, well, I thoroughly enjoy doing it. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. My adult interaction is very limited. So when I get to do wholesale accounts, it's fun because I get to go out and I get to talk to another adult, talk about business. They link me with other people too. I've had more opportunities this year that has came from my wholesale accounts because the people own small businesses too, or they do big events. Like I've had people that have bought candles for events as freebies to go in the swag bags. Yep. So then I get linked into an event, or I get to meet more people. It's fun.
Well, and it's a great idea. When Casey came home when Sarah got her first order, started handing them out, and I was like, what's this? She's like, oh, Swelly's. Like, her and Jocelyn would not shut up about it, but having a business, I've been a business owner now for 15 years. I'm always like analyzing, looking at things. Is that a good fit? Is that a bad fit? Is that a waste of money? Is that good money? Like, I find that I look at it so weird. Like, I'll look at a wrapped vehicle and my brain isn't going, oh, what brand in? My brain's going, does that even really pop? You know, I talk with one of the dads at the school, Chip Fix, and he does windshield rock repairs. He's done a bunch of mine. He's amazing with it, but he just got his vehicle logoed. And every time he pulls in, I'm like, damn, I like that because it's so clean. It's so obvious what the brand is. Yep. It's such an obvious fit. So, you know, with the painting company, we were giving away cutting boards. And I was like, it's okay. I don't paint for a lot of first-time home buyers. Yeah. A lot of your first-time home buyers are doing it themselves. I paint, and I prefer to paint for your more experienced customer. Yeah. When the economy was really booming, we got a lot of first-time home buyers, late 20s, never hired contractors before, and they were an absolute headache. Yeah. What do you mean my house? I go to work at 9, so you guys can work from 7 till 8:50, and then whereas your 50-year-old homeowner, lady of the house, is like, the key is under the mat, this is that, can you let the dog out for me at noon? Yes, ma'am, no problem, because she's hired contractors for over 20 years. Yeah. They are a dream. First-time home buyers are not. So the cutting board thing was like great. Ron did a great job. Loved the guy to death, but it wasn't my favorite thing. Like I was always constantly like, what can we do that'd be cooler? Or what could I do for that client that maybe has 5 properties and pays me $100,000? Yep. To go over the top. So I'm always looking at stuff. And when she came home with your stuff, I was like, that is such a non-intrusive, usable, thoughtful gift. The branding and the way it's done on it for Sarah is very, very classy. Yep. It fits for her. If I were to look at her truck, like her vinyl, her swag she gives out, herself, the way she goes and does stuff, it all fits. Yep. You know, sometimes you see stuff that people get and it's like, that doesn't fit you. No. You know.
So that's the thing too with like sitting down with my wholesale account holders. It's like, I don't want to sit here and, like you, all of your branding is red for the dojo. It is red and blue. So I wouldn't sit down and be like, oh, I'm going to create this orange label or this green label and just switch everything up, because that's not something that somebody wouldn't look at that and be like, oh, that's Matt Boyer. Yes. They're going to look at that and be like, who is this? Yes. So that's a big thing with like branding too, and something I've really been working hard on with switching. And I struggle with my own branding. I can sit here and say right now my branding is like below par, but for everyone else that I do stuff for,
It's great.
It's great.
It's hard when it's us. It is.
I put myself on the back burner, and like all of my wholesale accounts, I make sure I put first. My wholesale accounts, I always tell them 1 to 2 weeks. I try my best to get them done within the week that they order.
Yeah.
Some stuff is with the hurricane stuff that happened and all the weather. I have my big order coming in with oils for one of my wholesale accounts. I really wanted to get them done by like yesterday, but my shipment got delayed. It should be in today. So that's my focus tonight and tomorrow.
Think about that, yeah.
It hindered, but I try not to let that. I try to make sure I always have stuff on hand. When you're a new wholesale account and you create a new custom scent, most of the oils I have big bottles of on hand. Some of them, though, are very different smells. Stuff that I don't carry normally, so I have to order it in. And when it's that, it's like, I don't know. I'm on top of everything. I do not like falling behind at all. It drives me nuts.
It's stressful.
Yes.
That's my biggest issue with the painting company is when a contractor's not ready, we have to move something, and then they call, they're like, hey, it's ready. It's like, no, you weren't ready, so we moved something else up. Now we got it behind. Now I know they're waiting on me, even though it's their fault. It still bugs me.
Yeah,
like you have no control over the hurricanes or the port closures.
I think about it all the time, and I'm like, okay, wait.
And people that aren't like that don't understand. Like, you start getting grumpy about it.
Yeah.
Like, it starts to eat at you. Yeah, oh, yeah. No, I'll wake up in the morning like, I got to get this done. Casey's like, God, you're on one today. I'm like, I dreamt about it. I'm sorry.
It's here. It's a constant reminder. Like, this is still sitting in my candle studio. It's not done. I can't finish the rest of these until I have what I need to finish them. And then it's like,
but it's
this nagging thing in the back of my head. But it's good because I make sure that everything I put out is to my standard of what I would sell for myself, and really above and beyond, because I don't want, if there is ever a complaint on anything, I say it works both ways. Reach back out to me if there's something that you want to tweak on your next batch. If you absolutely hate it, let me know so that we can fix that problem, because I don't want you to have something that you're not happy with.
Yeah.
You spent the money on it, and you're going to be passing it out to people or selling it.
They have to be proud of it.
Yes. Yeah. If they're not proud of it, then why move forward with it?
Yeah.
And that's the mindset I have with my own stuff. I'm not going to sit a mediocre product out, because why?
Well, and
somebody's going to buy that and not come back.
With that type of stuff too is, as a business, and you set up booths, I set up booths, we all do it. The amount of crap just gets thrown away. Yeah. So, oh, look, you can get fake sunglasses with your name branded on the side of them for $2 a piece. It's like, yeah, but like 2 whole kids are going to keep them. They're all going to go into trash. I would rather take that $400 and donate it to someone, a charity, than spend it on that. I hate buying that crap. That's why I like the rubber bracelets, because those hang forever. Yeah. I've got a new design in my cart right now as a giveaway for the school, something, because I'm looking at kids. But it's hard. And that was what was cool. That was like, seriously, I'm not saying, because I didn't even know you then, but like when Casey come home with it, I was really intrigued. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I really like this idea. And I had no clue that you were local. I thought she ordered it online. I had no clue. Like, it did not, don't take offense to this, anyone, but sometimes when it's local stuff, you're like, oh yeah, that's local. Where'd it come from? Like, looks like someone made it out of their house. Yeah. I thought she ordered, when you come into the school with Malaya and said, that's what you did. I was like, no shit, really? Like, I was really impressed, because it screamed big company. It's such I like the fact it's usable. My wife has the little one and the hanging up. I don't mind buying stuff and giving it out for promotional purposes if they're going to use it. So, like, we're getting ready to design gift boxes. I'm going to be working on it this weekend. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to have it done by Sunday night, but they're going to be printed boxes, and we're going to have the uniforms in them and a water bottle and some different things. Yeah. I know that's going to get used, because I'm going to sell some, but I'm also going to gift some, but it's like, it's a usable thing. So I don't even care that I'll probably have $100 in each box by the time I get done with everything in them. but it's going to be used. Whereas I could give everybody $3 sunglasses, and that would bother me because it's going to go in the trash.
But it's another thing, too, with doing those boxes with your branding in it. Those uniforms kids are going to be wearing, or adults are going to be wearing. The water bottle, they're going to be carrying that around. So no matter what, that's another thing, too. I have bags.
Yeah.
So if you purchase a bag from me, they're $6. You save 10% off of any future purchase if you have that bag. At the farmer's market, it has been the best thing ever because you're walking around with my logo on a bag. Yep. People... Maybe not everyone, but I tend to look at like people's bags.
Me too.
Just because like the designs, they're pretty. I'm a sucker for a good like cute Marshall's bag or whatever, the 99-cent bags. I look at people's bags and I know that other people do that too. So my branding is walking around. You just paid $6 for that bag. You're going to save 10% off every purchase from me. And I have walking advertisement walking around that market.
Did you plan it that way? Like, did you think, okay, cool, I'll sell these, everyone will walk around with them? Or did you think people buy them for the discount?
I sat down and I was trying to figure out a way to help market myself a little bit more. I'm already at the market almost every single weekend. Haven't been there the last 2 weeks. I've had private events book me out, stuff like that, and then moving my in-laws. But I sat down and I was like, I need something that shows. Should I buy a stamp and stamp my logo on a brown bag? Yes, that works great, but the bag breaks. And it's just you're buying this candle in the bag, and then that bag goes in the trash when you get home. This reusable bag has my full color logo on it. It's a cute little canvas bag, and you can use it for other things. So you might bring it to the farmer's market and use it because you come to me every week or every other week to buy stuff. Or you might take it to the grocery store and use it at the grocery store. You're at the grocery store with it. You're advertising for me while walking around that store with that bag. So it was more of like I sat down, debated it.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And if they don't sell, they don't sell. Then I'll do them as like a promotional giveaway bag with my products in it for giveaways. They sold. Yeah. I don't have any right now.
That's awesome.
That's on my to-do list of things to order once I get caught back up on everything else. But it was a thought out marketing tool.
Yeah.
For myself.
I've had things like that too that worked really well that I just did. And was like, oh, didn't think of it that way. Like the rubber bracelets. I was like, whatever, it's a free giveaway. They're cheap. Well, then kids start coming up, you got a green one? Yeah, I think I got a green one in there. He's like, hey, this kid pulled his sleeve up. He's like, I got all of them but the green. I'm like, you guys are collecting these? They were rating my bin. We were leaving the fair, and this year at the fair, I didn't have any. I just was.
Hi, my name is Scott Lutz with Town & Country Insurance. We specialize in personal lines and business insurance. We're at 502 East Cherry Street here in Troy, Missouri. You can also find us online at tci.u.com. We would love to earn your business.
So busy I did not order any, and they were like you don't got, like, they were so irritated with me. I'm like, I'm sorry guys, didn't think it. The first year we went up, we did koozies, and I was like, whatever, we'll give people koozies. I had a couple girls from school that were like old students or like a sister, so when I said, hey, will you work the booth, just kind of hand stuff out to people for me, because I'll get to talking with customers. Well, like maybe Friday night, Saturday night or something, I started noticing that all the branded fair cups had my koozie on them. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble because people paid to advertise on that cup.
Right.
And they had my koozies on. They went over great. They were hanging in everybody's pockets. I remember texting Casey. I'm like, we may get in trouble for giving these out because we gave out, I don't know, 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
I was like, because they're covering everything. I'm like, but that worked. I'm not a koozie guy. I don't have a drawer full of koozies at the house. So I was like, whatever, they're cheap. Apparently a lot of people hold on to koozies. But if you're a professional realtor, I wouldn't want to be giving out beer koozies.
No.
I don't like giving them out. They were actually for Boyer Painting, not the Academy, if I remember right. Or maybe we did do them for the Academy, because I wasn't really like a fan of the idea. Because I even thought about we could get taller ones so I could say they're for energy drinks. I ain't like giving them out for beer when I'm a martial arts school, mostly kids.
Yeah.
But it's Lincoln County, so I knew like most people would be like, whatever, it's a beer drinking area. I wasn't too worried about it. But, you got to find branding products that fit your style. And that was the thing. Like, I looked at that. I thought it fit Sarah really well. I loved the idea of it. I'm like, that's a really cool thing. Like, and I could see other customers seeing that and reaching out to you because I know all the girls were
Sarah
talking about it.
has told everyone in Lincoln County that this is where I get my candles from. Go see her.
Yeah.
Talk to her. She's actually referred several people out to me. I have
bet.
a couple agents in Warrenton that I work with now.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple small businesses reached out to me the past 2 weeks, and placed wholesale orders for their storefronts. So Sarah's amazing.
Yeah.
That's literally all I have to say. I absolutely love her.
Yeah,
She's
but your
great.
product, yes, Sarah is amazing, but your product just, it fit really well. And I just remember being really excited about that because there's so many things that I see or people give or, I've gotten to where, so we do booths, you do booths, your kids go to this stuff too. It's like, oh, great, another bag full of Frisbees and crap to take home because all the bigger companies just buy like all the random. So like at the fair last year to promote the podcast, and I didn't have time to do it. It was one of those great ideas. I found stress balls, but they were little radios.
That's cute.
And I was going to get the podcast printed on it and give them out. And I was like, people might actually set that on their desk. They're like, oh, I'm going to listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Because Joey and I were talking about it up here. I'm like, what do you think of this? He's like, oh, that'd be cool. But they were like a boom box. It wasn't like I wanted like a speaker. Like I wanted something a little different, but I only had so much to choose from unless I wanted to spend a ton of money. And I was like, we're not going to go custom yet. Let's wait. I'm not that.
See how it works.
Well, I'm not trying to grow the nation's biggest podcast on Lincoln County. Like I just want to be heard in Lincoln County. I wasn't going to invest that. My branding side, like the business owner's like, do it. And the other side of me is going, no, you don't make enough money for that. Stop it.
Right.
So we didn't, but I'm always looking for those creative things. And I think business owners need to think about that too of, okay, I'm going to give this out as a way to get my name into it. What's going to like fit me? Like a gym towel, if you're a gym or a personal trainer or nutrition, that's a great idea. There's options for people, but I really think if you're dealing with a professional clientele that's going to be in an office, I think what you do would fit anyone.
Yeah.
Like people are going to hang it in their car, they're going to take it to work,
It's going to be a constant reminder without being like in your face over.
No,
like,
because we got your stuff at my house and it fits on the shelf nicely. There's a book, and it may be something you'd like. I'll double check. If I've got an extra, I'll give it to you. I was bringing books in for all the podcast guests. I'm slipping. It's called The Art of Gift Giving. And a gentleman wrote it that has like a huge company that handles companies like Apple size to where they do the gift giving for them. Like you hire them out, they personalize everything. And he teaches a lot of like do's and don'ts. Yeah. And one of his big thing is don't give someone a gift with your logo on it. No. You don't want it like screaming, nobody's going to want to hang something. But with that being said, your candle with Sarah's branding looks nice in the house. It doesn't scream.
It's not loud.
It doesn't scream. Oh, look, it's like a branded, sign just screaming at you. It looks, if you were to glance at it, you'd be like, oh, it's a really nice candle. Oh, Sarah Sell. Who is that? Yeah. It doesn't scream at you. And that's where your art and your creativity come in, because that was when we did the cutting boards, we would put the logo on the back. Yep. Because that Ron was like, man, they need to remember it's you. I'm like, then put it on the back. I don't want it on the front because they're not going to want to set that. I own Boyer Painting, and I would not want to set that up in my kitchen
where it says
Boyer Painting on it. I wouldn't do that. I just would not.
Talking about this, when I first started, I started this back in 2021. I was 9 months pregnant with my third. Mm-hmm. And I had talked about doing candles for like 3 years. I did a lot of research on like toxicity levels. That was a big thing because I
was going to get to that with the soy candles and all that.
Other companies that would give me migraines. My dog would have seizures from certain things I would bring into the house. We couldn't figure it out. Figured it out. Wow. But I make everything, and it's 100% non-toxic. The soy is 100% natural soy. It's non-toxic.
What about
all the
wicks?
Fragrances. The wicks are cotton dipped soy wicks.
Okay,
so they don't have that black smoke that comes off of them. They burn clean. They don't leave residue on walls. I'm sure with you being a painter.
That's right.
You walk into a house and you're like, oh,
we play, is it
awesome.
Candles or meth lab? Seriously, we play, is it candles or is it a meth lab? I have had several customers. So I had one a while back, and her and I went to walk it. She had a condo in O'Fallon. It was like their first house. They moved out in a house, kept it as a rental. And we were trying to figure out if the people had a meth lab or a condo or candles.
It coats everything.
Everything was coated. Even, okay, so it was a vaulted living room, 3rd floor condo, 1,200 square foot. It's nicer condos, and I can't think of the name of it. They've got them all over St. Charles County. Everybody that listens to this probably has a friend that lived in one of these. I have been to parties in these things in my past. You come into the living room, you got to go to the kitchen, you go into the master bedroom, through the master bedroom, and a back corner to the master bath, through the master bath, into the master closet. And the closet was stained up.
Yeah.
That's what threw us on if it was a meth lab or if it was candles. I'm not kidding. We really play this game because everything was coated.
It's so bad. Like, you can take and, like, your nail and just scrape it off. And those candles that are toxic are
all it takes is one.
Paraffin based.
Yep.
And they are paraffin dipped wicks, which is something, like I said, I've done a lot of research on it.
Yeah.
Everything I have is soy products.
Nice.
The fragrances that I use in them, some of them are essential oil based, some of them are fragrance oil based, but everything is non-toxic. I suffer from migraines. Mm-hmm. I get one real bad migraine like a month.
Well, in some sense, will set people off too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are certain scents that I will not carry.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very iffy. Like, if a wholesale account came out and was like, hey, can I get this scent? I'm like, let's try this one. And if you absolutely cannot find anything else you like, then yes, I'll do it. But vanilla. I hate vanilla. I don't know why. It triggers my migraine so bad. Some vanillas don't, but I did birthday cake candles 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was for a local bakery.
Yeah.
And it was a cute clear jar. It had real cake sprinkles around it.
Nice.
And then the candle was poured in it. And it was vanilla birthday cake scented. When I tell you, my husband came home and he was like, what is that smell? It smelled great, like a fresh baked cake, but it was so vanilla. I don't know. I just don't like vanilla. It's a personal thing, and it like
every time we look at something, I'm like, oh, it's great. Casey's like, vanilla again. I'm like, I don't know. Vanilla, new car, and clean cotton. Those are my 3 go-tos.
Yeah, see, nope, I can do the
but
other
now,
two.
She'll do, what did she get the one day? Because it's the fall scents are coming out.
Cozy season.
Yeah, well, no, not the one from you. This is a while back. She got something. It was like apple cinnamon, winter spice crap or something. It set me as well. This has been 12 years ago because Ben wasn't born yet. It said Zach and Jacob, my stepsons. We all walked in the house. We're like, oh, it smells really good. And we all started seizing. We're like, get it out of the house. And she was so mad. She's like, I got this fall candle and it smells so good.
No.
We all of us, our eyes started watering. We started sneezing. She was so mad. Like every time we go to the candle aisle, we're like, no. She's like, oh, I hate you guys. I can't have fall scents. Because there are several of them. Me and Ben still will sneeze on some of them. And I think it's, again, the chemicals in them.
It is.
But I try to tell customers all the time, they're like, I just don't know what's wrong with my ceilings. I'm like, well, Karen, how many candles do you have?
Right. What do you use?
I only have 2. That's all it takes to completely ruin your ceilings.
It's that smoke that comes off of it. And obviously when you burn a candle, the wax disappears. Well, when you're burning a paraffin candle, that wax is going up through that wick and dispersing. That's
never thought
sticking to the walls.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
If you were to burn a soy candle, and the only place I burn candles in my house is on my stove. I have 3 kids, animals, all the things. So the only time you'll see a lit candle is on my stove, unless I'm sitting directly beside it on the end table in the living room. You can scrape the walls, you can scrape the ceiling above the microwave. There's no residue left behind.
Yeah.
And that was really important to me because, again, first off, I'm making them. I'm sitting there for hours breathing this stuff in.
When you want to know your customers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing I focused on when doing the research behind what I should carry, how I should do my products is if I can do it in my house and not get sick from it and know that it's not hurting me or harming me in any way, I feel comfortable going to a market and this new mom coming up that's 9 months pregnant and they're like, well, I'm trying to switch everything to my house to organic safe stuff. Are your products safe? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yep, you can say
absolutely.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you from a painter's standpoint, it is less damaging to your walls to smoke cigarettes in your house than it is to burn a cheap candle.
Yep.
They do more damage. I have had so many people go, I don't know why my living room ceiling is discolored. I'm like, well, your fireplace can cause that. They're like, we don't use it. I'm like, what candle you put on the mantle? Oh, you know what? I'm like, that's exactly it.
Yep.
They destroy it. I have better luck And I never thought of it with the paraffin. I never, ever thought of the paraffin dispersing and sticking because it is easier to cover nicotine than it is
Because it
candles.
coats. You can just scrape it off.
Well, the nicotine, we'll have to pole sand houses because the nicotine, but it dries differently. We can just sand it, kills it, and move on.
This leaves the rub marks behind.
That is
Like
exactly
you're,
why.
like,
That makes sense.
trying to clean wax off a floor in a gym when you walk into like the schools at the end of the year and they're cleaning the floors.
Yep.
That is literally what paraffin is leaving behind on your wall.
That's crazy.
It's you're just scraping layer after layer after layer off of it.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, candles are harder for us. When the one I said, was it a meth lab or not? That was a brutal one. But I'll go in sometimes where people buy houses. I work with a lot of realtors, and we'll be looking at the ceilings, and we normally, because to be honest, meth lab turns everything orange. My brother had one at a house that he had. I remember going into it being like, how the house turn orange? And somebody's like, that's how much stuff they were cooking in here. I was like, whoa, that's nuts. Because it was actually really funny. The realtor was showing the house for open house. I like swung by there because an investor bought it. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? It's like, you guys did so good getting rid of the meth smell. Could you leave, sir? I was like, no, like they cooked it back here. Did you know it was like right here? I was messing with them. I was only, what was I? I don't know, 2002. So I was 20 and I just had like some free time.
Right.
And I was kind of bitter because when my brother got locked up, I could have got that house for $100,000. They repainted it, sold it for $180,000. It was a 2,300 square foot 5-bedroom house. It's a $500,000 house now.
Yeah.
Easily. On nice piece of property and established subdivision. Biggest mistake of my life was I did not take over. My dad had power of attorney. I could have just took it over. And I was making like $17 an hour in a union at the time. And I was like scared to make that first purchase. Yeah. And my dad was like, you don't want to buy a house yet. Still worst advice ever. Because there were 5 bedrooms. I could have moved some buddies in the basement and not like, if I knew what I know now,
yeah.
That's why I'm so big on like explaining, like teaching and doing the things I do. Because if I knew what I knew now, shoot, I'd be like a real estate czar by this point. Like, because that would have been an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how that stuff coats it. So what, you do the soy-based, non-toxic, which is absolutely amazing because I have this argument with customers every once in a while about paint. And I'm like, the same stuff we use everywhere. I breathe it every day. I'm not going to put you in danger if it was, because there are products we use that, if we're killing stuff or if we're having to neutralize pet urine, we use alcohol-based products, which can kill you if you breathe them. If you, if you lock yourself in that house that night, you're going to die. So I'm very honest and upfront, but I'll get offended when people are like, I just don't know if I can be here. I'm like, I'm not going to put my employees or myself, any of us at risk with that. So it's amazing that you do that. But, what was the drive when you were wanting to start a business to like go into the candles? And then how did this pivot into the wholesaling, like branding with businesses start? Because does it seem really well connected?
I've done, so in 2016, when I had my first, I was doing the t-shirt thing where I was making t-shirts. I had a big, like huge vinyl cutter for industrial size. I'd go big or go home with that one. And then it just got so oversaturated. And I was like, I thought about doing candles then. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I just don't think that I would be good enough at doing that. Talking down on myself, which I've learned over the past years, like just go for it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. At least you tried it and you can say you did it. Then in 2021, I really started researching more about toxic candles, like why am I getting headaches, all this stuff. I was that person with the wax drawer of wax melts, like 50 from Walmart, Bath and Body Works, all the scents, obsessed with certain ones. And you walk into my house and that's what would be in it. But I would always have like these lingering headaches and I didn't know why. Really? And now ever since making my own stuff, I don't have headaches that are triggered by the smells anymore. I have headaches because I have kids, but that's a whole nother thing. The smells don't trigger it because there's different parts in your head that you can pinpoint.
I have that
of
with
like
some clones.
Yes,
I'll put
and
them
it's
on,
a whole nother set
of
headache that comes from the smell.
It takes about an hour.
Yes, like, and it sets in. You're like, wait, I can't. Like my eyes.
And it's
hurt.
Not like a sinus headache either. It's a different headache. Yeah.
Just But I started doing candles in 2021 when I was 9 months pregnant. It's like I'm just gonna try it. I had my real estate agent that we bought both of the houses through. She kind of stepped up as more of like a mother figure, I would say. I absolutely adore her. Her name's Kathy. Her daughter used to make candles, and she's like, I have a box of all this stuff downstairs. Do you want it? Just try it out. I think there's some wax and oils down there too. It was all soy, clean, what I've researched on. And I was like, I'll give it a try. We'll go for it. It's not going to cost me anything.
I'm Stu. I'm the founder and president of the Guild Men's Fellowship. As a first responder, I know firsthand what it's like to pour into your community and lose sight of personal aspirations. And that's why I founded the Guild. The Guild is a nonprofit that offers personal development programs to first responders and veterans since 2019. We offer our services completely free of charge. Peer support, critical incident stress debriefing, our flagship program, Stations Immersion Camp, and one-on-one coaching is accessible by people who apply and are approved through our website. Like all nonprofits, we need people and funding. And one of the ways that we've come up with to solve the funding issue is to take our curriculum and put it into modules that are teachable to your organization or agency. In this way, we can further your mission by putting your investment to work for people who have served. If you're interested in finding more information or applying for our services, or if you're interested in helping by booking us for trainings, keynotes, or consulting, visit our website, guildfellowship.com.
Giving it to me to try it out. She's like, I just want you to make me some stuff with it. If I give it to us, deal. You can be my test dummy, basically.
Yeah,
I can
make
it,
setup.
pass it to you. So then I started making it, and I was like, wait, I love this. My labels were, when you first start a business, typically it's very loud, in your face type labels and stuff. What I've noticed from some of the business that I've done stuff for, that was mine. They were horrible. Absolutely terrible.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Each jar had a different color label that had a theme behind the name of the scent. Nothing matched.
The whole shebang.
It was just so random. Yeah. And then I did my first event. It was 4 weeks postpartum. Had Axel with me at my first event, and I fell in love with it. I was like, wait, this is so much fun. I get to talk to people. I get to talk to adults. And I'm contributing to an income in our home, because being a stay-at-home mom, you don't really have that opportunity very often when you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yep.
So it was just something that I got to do for myself. And then it grew. In 2022, I started doing more vendor events. Anything that popped up, I was like, do you have availability? I can be there. I've cut back on that a lot. I've gotten a lot more picky about where I go and where I set up, because I have grown since 2021. And I know where my market is, where I can sell my products and not get that much for that. Or are they really worth it? Where I set up, people are like, oh my gosh, I love your stuff. Or they come back, or they bring people back with them, and then the word spreads, or I ran out and I needed you here so that I could buy this. I don't know. I've built relationships with all of my customers, which has been really fun. And it makes me feel like I'm doing it right.
That's awesome.
When people keep coming back. If not, I'm like, oh my gosh, did they hate them? Did I not like them? Did I do something wrong? Is it messed up? That's why I tell all my wholesale accounts, I'm like, please,
give me feedback.
Because
yes,
if you ghost me and don't talk to me for 6 months before you place your next order, I'm like, what did I do? Was it wrong?
It's people pleaser in you.
It is.
It's hard.
It's so, and I shouldn't be that way. My husband's like, Amber.
Yeah.
It's fine.
People say you shouldn't be that way, but it drives you to do better.
It does.
I need that. That's one of my big things with the academy, is I have that instant gratification of people being like, that was a great class, or a parent saying thank you, or a kid doing something, achieving it. I have that's my fuel.
That's the feedback from it that you feed off of, and then you're like, oh, I can do better. I can do.
Nothing would upset me more if I painted a house and a customer's like, I won't be home, I'll just send you a check. I would be like, keep your freaking money.
Right.
Because my payment was them coming in going, wow, the house looked really good. And I'd go, wow, I feel good. And I know there's all sorts of psychiatrists listening to this going, well, that's unhealthy. It's
right.
Whatever. It's what gets me going, and it's how I do it. And that's why
feeds the energy that you put into it.
That's why the school works for me.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I love doing candles. It's my thing.
It's your thing. You enjoy it. You pour your passion into it. It's obvious, and that's good. And like you said, being a stay-at-home parent, you don't always have the opportunity, because obviously you're staying at home. But then again, you don't get that connection. When Ben was born, Casey had went back to work. I had the Taekwondo school in the evening, so I stayed with him during the day.
You lose yourself in it.
You lose your mind. There was times I get to school and I'm like, oh my gosh, people. I was like, oh, goodness.
Talk to me. Conversations everywhere, please.
Especially when he slept all the time. when he was real little, I was like losing my mind because I'm not a TV watcher.
No,
But
I'm not either.
I couldn't do anything else because he was asleep. So
Cook, clean, it's the same thing. And that's
Casey would
something
come
too.
home, everything would be perfectly spotless, dinner would be ready, and she'd be like, well, I'm gonna make something different. We want something different tonight. And I'd be like, ugh, okay.
I just worked so hard on that.
Well, but I understand it now.
Yeah.
Then I would get offended, but I understand it now as, you know, that's not what she wanted that day. But I had nothing else to do, so I was like, well, I'm gonna cook. You know, yeah,
So
it gets hard.
The new thing started this Monday. We went and seen a holistic doctor, and he's like, you need a hobby. You need something that you can relax with. And I'm like, relax? What's that? Because I physically don't know how to do that. I'm a busybody. I can't sit still. If I sit still, I'm going to fall asleep. That's how it is. Because I'm exhausted from doing all this. So every single day this week, my husband has been like, go home, take a nap. I'm like, but I have this, go home, take a nap. That stuff can wait.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle. We'll just put it that way. Because
Yeah,
I literally don't know how to relax. We were there at the doctor, and they were like, told you to lay down, and they had this belt right here, and it monitored your stress levels and your heart rate and stuff like that.
Here's one up.
No, the paper. There's a little yellow dot. There's blue up here. This like Navy SEAL, like perfect health. Little red corner down here is like 90-year-old old lady, old man. I was one dot away from the 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't know how to relax. I can lay down, but I'm still thinking about everything that needs to be done, and then it like consumes me.
It's learned. You have to learn to do it. It was the biggest thing for me. It's why I ended up drinking a lot in the early years with having both bit. But just the academy, I would do it because I get wound up teaching. Yeah. You see me teaching every night. I'm wound up. I would go home and I couldn't turn it off because I would sleep in because I had nothing to do in the morning.
Yeah.
So then when I had both businesses, I would come home and drink out of stress. And it's one of the reasons I'm over 2 years of not drinking. But I had the same thing, and I had to teach myself how, and also work with Casey on, like, we don't talk business when I get home at night.
Yeah.
We watch TV, we talk about the kids, whatever. We don't talk business because my brain will go, all right, I'm home. This is cool. And then something will spark it, and I'll get to going again. And I'm like, oh, crap, I'm not going to sleep.
Yep.
And it's super unhealthy.
Yeah. The doctor asked me, he was like, do you have a hobby? And I'm like, yeah. I own a small business. So
they don't count that.
I guess it's probably not a hobby, but I still consider it because when I'm in my candle studio and I'm making candles, like that's me time. I'm stressed out with some of it, but
that's how I am when I'm teaching.
I don't know. It's an outpost for me to be able to have me time and make the candles, and I do something that I enjoy doing. It's not like I'm working. Same thing with like getting up when I go to the market. I get up and I leave my house. I have to be out of my house by 5:45 in the morning to get to the market by 6:30 because we live in Eolia. Driving to Lake St. Louis is a little bit of a drive. And then I get there and I set up and ready to go by 8, done by noon, pack up and out by 12:30. I don't dread going to do that because I get to talk to people. I get to see people who come back every single week and they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy you're here. You know,
and that's important.
It is. It's something I enjoy doing. That's why I play with the idea of going back to work. It's playing with the idea of going back to work because if I did that, I wouldn't be able to do what I do now.
No, you have to choose.
And I don't want to go to a job and not enjoy what I'm doing and then just sit there and basically suffer all day with something that I don't.
You don't have a purpose with that either. It's having that purpose in what you do. Something I learned with the painting company as I built it up is I didn't really have a purpose there. I'm not changing lives painting houses. I am teaching. Yeah. I am working with kids. You know, I had a parent last night. I don't know what's up. Stacy and I got to figure out where she came from. I had two ladies scheduled to come watch a class, or a lady scheduled to come in with 2 kids and watch a class.
Yeah.
Well, 2 ladies came in, 3 kids total to watch, and I was like, whatever, go with the flow. Because we had those couple teen boys that started in your guys' class that were walk-ins. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, go with the flow. I got more stuff to worry about. We started talking about friendship and stuff at the end of class, and I saw her, like, she was all hunched forward, like, on every word. Got up to the desk, they're like, where do we sign up? I'm like, well, here's our program. She's like, you didn't hear me. Where do I sign up? She didn't care. Give me a clipboard. I was like, all right, well, here's everything. I made her listen. I was like, going down there. You're awesome. Love the class. You're awesome. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you. I'm like, not really. I'm having an off night, but thank you. Like,
right.
She went to leave. She swung back by in between bags. She's like, come here. She's like, you're awesome. Thank you. And like shook the hell out of my hand. I'm like, cool. Something's going on there that I touched on with the friendship talk. that affected them, and I'm really interested to find out what.
Yeah.
Not to be nosy, but to see how I can help, because obviously there's something going on. This kid was really excited. She was very excited. That, to me, I was more excited to tell Casey about that when I got home than I was about the fact that we had one of our largest sale nights that we've ever had at the school, as far as in monetary value.
Yeah.
Because that's not, that's, I even discussed that. We've been working on our stuff for 2025, and I was explaining some stuff to Stacy and then also to my wife, Casey, that I can't sit down and go, all right, we got to make X amount of dollars a day. We got to do all the things that they tell you to do, because guess what? Everything up there costs money. So I do have to think about that.
Yeah.
I have to break it into enrollment numbers, lives impacted. Like, I have to break it into things that motivate me. Because if I just say, okay, you have to make this much a month,
you're not going to enjoy it.
It's not a monetary thing to me. It ain't even a not going to enjoy it. That I just am not motivated by that.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in it and had a sales position at a job, I wasn't motivated by how much money I'd make on my bonus. I was motivated by beating someone else and being able to celebrate, especially if we had a good competition going. Like, I would get into that and then be like, oh crap, I made good money this month. Like, some of us are like that. You're affecting lives, giving a safe product, enjoying what you do. You get to go out and meet people, and you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's you. You're not sitting down being like, all right, I got to break all these numbers out at the end of the month. You have to find what you do. That people-pleasing aspect of you is good, because when you go to those events, you meet the people and say, oh, great, we love it. And you're fed. That feeds that need for you. That's how it is for me at school. That parent
feeds back
shaking,
in and then puts it back out.
And then I was able to
return
pour it into the next
Yeah.
class. That next class was an amazing class, because I was so pumped up, because I don't know what I did, but I know there was a big effect there.
Always in the right place. God puts you in a place for a reason. And you were there, and they walked in for that night because they needed that.
It's funny you say that. So the other night I come home, and I did my morning walk, and I was like, all right, we wrapped up confidence. What am I going to talk about this month? Because next month is gratitude. Wraps up with Thanksgiving and talking, and I've got all these different things on gratitude that I've been wanting to work on myself. So I'm like, I've got the whole month pretty well done in my head. I'm like, what am I going to do for October? Scary stuff? Like, I don't know. And I was like, I giggled to myself. I'm like, okay, I'm going back to church now, and I'm hanging, 3 of my friends are pastors, and I'll just let God decide. God will show me what it is. And I said it being a smart ass, like in my head. And I went, friendship. Didn't need him. I got that pretty quick. I was like, all right, cool. And, not being arrogant, but just was like, oh, yeah, I thought I'm good. And I was like.
But that came in your head because you have 3.
Well, just wait. It gets better. So then, literally the first night we start talking about it, when I talked about the confidence, like some of the parents had kind of turned ear. We started talking friendship. Parents got on their toes.
Yeah.
The first night, the second class, I had a student, eyes all red and everything, and she started to run out at the end of class. I went her beat on the window, told her family. I was like, you wait a second. I got to talk to her.
Yeah.
They freaked. They thought something was wrong. I'm like, no, I just can tell she's been crying. I want to know what's up. She got in trouble. A friend of hers dared her at school to bring a vape to school. So she took one to school, 3rd grade.
Yeah.
She's now on ISS, then back in school. Or no, OSS, then she's back at school on ISS. So we had to talk about that in the parking lot about, basically a friend said, I don't want to be your friend if you don't do it. So she did it because she didn't want to lose a friend. She's going through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of other things going on in her life too. And I was like, okay, I get it. I was kind of looking up. I'm like,
light shining down, like,
I was like,
hello.
man, you got to quit doing this stuff to me. Because I've never been very religious. And in the past year, that has completely changed.
Yeah.
So then, so what's today? Today's Thursday. So that was Monday. Tuesday night, did the friendship talks again. I came home and Casey's like, hey, I commented on this post. It's posted anonymously in a mom's group out of St. Charles. The kid lives in Troy. The kid is struggling with friends, is having trouble finding friends. And the mom was breaking down and said he thinks he just needs to be in heaven because he has no friends. We live in Troy. Who can help?
Yeah.
And she goes, I commented on it, but it's anonymous. I can't figure out who it is. And she goes, did you get a new submission email? It was like 7 minutes apart from her comment. And so I'm like, I think the kid's coming to the school. I don't know this because it's all anonymous and the person never did reach back out. So I don't know. Because I almost texted the submission, been like, "Are you the lady?" Just because I wanted to actually meet with them privately to talk. But I was like, okay, we're on day 2. Then last night I was talking about it, and I had a parent stop afterwards, and we were discussing it a little more about just the interaction and stuff. And so I was like, because it hit me yesterday after the post from the kid, I was like, yeah, I didn't come up with this idea.
No, you didn't.
I was like, wow, I almost messaged my pastor, but like,
Take credit for the first day or two, but then it really sets in. Wait, like God put me here doing this, put everything in front of me, so that I can think for the first part of it. This was my idea. This is all me. He's just there, whatever. Then you go day in the next day, and he's put something in the path to be like, no, look, Matt, this is me. And then the next day,
that's exactly how this week's been.
So, but it makes you think, you're like, okay, well, I'm really doing something. You are serving.
I'm doing something bigger.
Yeah. You're not just doing this for yourself or for the self-gratitude or the putting yourself into this. You're doing this and touching lives in a way that God has planned for you to be able to touch lives.
Yeah. Well,
so it's just cool looking at it.
I get how my pastor feels now too, because he'll give sermons, and he'll be like, I've had so many messages, people saying, hey, you were talking right to me. He goes, I don't sit down with an itinerary of who's here and say, this is what I'm going to write. He goes, this is just where I'm going with things. And that's how I've been treating friendship this month. I haven't tried to pre-write anything, but if something comes to my head, I make some notes. And one of the kids last night I was kind of going over some stuff with them. And I was like, and I'm not sure what we're talking about with friendship next week, but when I get the memo, I'll let you guys know. And I kind of giggled to myself because I really don't know where I'm going with it next week.
Right.
Something will happen between now and Monday afternoon.
There will be something put in place that's going to be like, all right, look, Matt.
That's funny you brought that, because I haven't shared that with anyone. I had that realization yesterday, and I was like...
It's just like randomly that it happens, too. I mean, I make candles. So being put in a position to be able to like help someone or touch someone's life isn't very often, but I work with people. They come up to me, and some people come up and they look like they've been crying, or you can tell they're just kind of off, and just having that open conversation. And then when they walk away, they're like, you have a blessed day and thank you. And I'm like, all right. There was a reason they came in here.
For you or for them.
Yeah. And it makes me feel good because, I mean, I go to church every Sunday. We've been in our church my husband's been there for like 14 or 15 years. I've been there since me and my husband have been together. We got together in 2012. So we have a home church. And I walk into church on some Sundays, and sometimes I don't feel like, okay, is this where I belong right now? But then I walk in there and I sit down, and Pastor White's preaching about something that we've struggled with the week before, and I'm like, I belong here.
Yep, that's where I'm supposed to be.
Or same thing with like our pastor will preach about like financial and stuff like that, and I'm like, all right, maybe this isn't what I need to be doing, or maybe I need to just switch it and maybe not have this for my company is not for my own greed.
Yeah.
I do what I do because I enjoy doing it, but I also enjoy being able to talk to other people and touch other people's lives with the products that I make, which might sound cheesy, but it's not, because I know that everything I do is safe, and I trust it for myself, so I trust it for other people too. But I always, no matter what, behind closed doors of my company, God is there behind me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be where I am today. I would not have the growth I have today had I not looked back every single night and thank God for what he's giving me to push me to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Because even with my family, we're a family of 6. We have a big family.
Yeah.
I have 3 sisters and a mom. Like, my dad was never there.
Yeah.
So coming from that, and we're all close in age, to having 3 kids of my own, my sister-in-law, my husband, it's like, wow. And then we're always around my husband's family, my mother-in-law and father-in-law. So it's like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a big deal to me, and to be in church, because I was in church all the time when I was younger.
Yeah.
But it was more of like
You went because you had to.
I went because I had friends that went.
Yeah.
And then I went because I had to. And then I got into my teenage years, and I went because I wanted to. And then it changed from wanting to, and now I go in, and most Sunday mornings I'm very flustered because, again, I have kids that we have to get up, get dressed.
Yeah.
We're always running 10 minutes behind. No matter, even if we wake up 10 minutes early, we're still 10 minutes behind. But I do it for myself. And that's the same thing. It's going to church. I do that for me. my business. I do that for me. I don't do my business for my family.
Yeah, no.
It is
that's
not
your
for
thing.
my husband.
Yeah.
It's not for my kids. It's for me. And, too, to watch my kids grow with it.
Yeah.
My daughter's like, well, Mom, I want to make something. I want to do something. I want my own business. Can I have a table with yours? She
That's
makes
cool.
bracelets.
Perfect.
Sits down. And then my son's like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
I want to do that, too. So he started doing it. And then Malaya does it.
Yep.
It's not, I don't know. I feel like I kind of got to set an example for them that if you work hard enough to have something, you can. And same with my husband. He works very long hours. Very long hours. He works 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
He set a goal, and everything we have, he's provided for us. But we tell the kids, like, look, like, in life, you have to pray on it, work for it, and follow the steps that you need to follow to get to where you want to be. And if that's not what God wants you to be, then you're not going to get to that place. But, I mean, my 8-year-old asked to be saved last year.
That's
and was
awesome.
baptized last year. He knew what he wanted, sat down, talked about it, and went forth with it. So it's, I don't know. I guess I can just link the two together because I know for a fact that I would not be where I am today had I not prayed on it and asked God to guide me in the way that I needed to be guided to get to where I'm at.
Yeah. No, and it's something, too, that I think it's important to have these conversations to give that respect there and to give that, hey, you know, I know this is where it's coming from.
You don't hear it all the time. A lot of people are scared to talk about it. Or
but when you do, too, a lot of times, like I've always associated it, too, with a lot of fake people, too.
Yeah.
Being fake, using it just to get customers. So I've been trying to work it into me and who I am more in a very genuine way. And I think having this podcast and having these talks is is a big way for me.
It'll open up more doors. And I was the same way. When people last year, when I would get the people that would say, have a blessed day, I would kind of freeze up like, well, there's other people in my setup. Like, should I say it back? Like, am I going to offend someone else if I speak about it? But I don't care.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's your thing. But this is me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, like, not be me. I can't sit there and try to be someone fake to please someone else. But in the end, I'm hurting myself.
Yeah.
Type thing. So, I don't know. It's just, I've had a lot of growth between business, spiritual, family. And I've met so many cool people.
Yeah.
Hey, look where I'm at today. This is not something I would have done on my own.
Yeah, you're killing it. You did
Because
great.
when I said, I literally, the whole drive here, I was on the phone with my husband, and I'm like,
I knew I
so
caught
nervous.
you off guard with it the other day.
I'm so nervous. Like, what if I just start, like, word vomiting? Because I do that.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you've experienced that in
I
class.
do that.
So, I just get nervous. But I enjoy talking. If it's something I'm passionate about,
Yeah.
I can talk for hours.
So how can customers find you? You said at the market, but like online or social media, how is the best way for people to get a hold of you?
I'm at the market almost every weekend, but on social media, you can reach out to me on Facebook. I have a website. My website's still in kind of like a buffer zone. I'm better with in-person stuff than on a website. My website's been my struggle. But you can just reach out to me on social media. Simply Sweet Little Things at Facebook.
Simply Sweet Little Things at Facebook. That's the best way.
Yep.
Awesome.
And you message me and we can sit down and talk. Even if you're just wanting, I know that I've had a lot of people reach out about doing a bulk order for Christmas presents with custom labels for Christmas presents to give out to family members. You don't have to be a business or an agent or anything. If you're wanting to do something that has something meaningful behind it for Christmas gifts, we can do a custom label. Each label on a candle can be different. It can be a picture of you and whoever you're giving the candle to, because it's something they'll sit on a mantle, they'll burn it,
awesome.
but they'll keep it. It's something meaningful behind it. But yeah, Facebook is the best way to reach out to me when it comes to the business side of things.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like, share, and support. Make sure to check out her page and look at all the great things that you could get and how it could affect your business. Thank you again.